A nervous young man helps a stranger pick up her papers in the wind. 1 hour later, he walks into a job interview and he freezes. The person behind the desk is her. What happens when the stranger you helped in the morning becomes the boss who decides your whole future? Stay with me, because this story has a twist you will feel. And by the end, you will know 8 words that native speakers use every day when they talk about work and jobs. Try to say each one out loud with me. First, let's meet the words. Listen and repeat each one after me. Apply. To apply means to ask officially for a job. For example, she wants to apply for a job at the hospital. Resume. A resume is a short paper that lists your jobs, your skills, and your school. For example, he printed his resume and put it in his bag. Interview. An interview is a meeting where a company asks you questions about a job. For example, my interview is at 9 in the morning. Nervous. When you are nervous, you feel worried and a little afraid. For example, I always feel nervous before a big task. Handshake. A handshake is when 2 people hold hands and shake them to say hello. For example, a strong handshake shows that you are confident. Hire. To hire someone means to give them a job and start paying them. For example, the shop wants to hire 2 new workers. Boss. Your boss is the person who leads you at work and tells you what to do. For example, my boss is kind, but she asks for good work. Deserve. To deserve something means to earn it because of what you did. For example, you worked hard, so you deserve this reward. Now our story. It's called The Stranger in the Wind. Listen closely and watch for our 8 words. Daniel stood in front of the mirror and fixed his tie. Today was the most important day of his year. He felt very nervous. On his desk sat his resume, printed and clean. He had read every line 10 times. He wanted this job so much. He had decided to apply for the job weeks ago. Now the interview was only 1 hour away. His hands felt cold. He stepped outside. The morning was bright and windy. He walked fast toward the bus stop. Ahead of him, an older woman carried a big leather folder. Suddenly, the wind pulled it open. Papers flew everywhere. The woman gasped. The papers danced across the sidewalk. Other people just walked past and did not stop. Daniel did not think twice. He dropped his bag and ran after the papers. He caught them one by one, a page under a bench, a page near the busy road. He handed the folder back to her. I think that's all of them, he said, a little out of breath. The woman smiled warmly. Thank you. Not many people would stop today. She shook his hand with a firm, kind handshake. I'm in a terrible hurry, she said, but you saved me. Then she rushed away around the corner. Daniel checked his watch. He was still on time. He smiled to himself and kept walking. The company building was tall and made of glass. Daniel took a deep breath. This was where he wanted to work. In the waiting room, his heart beat fast. Other people waited too. Everyone looked calm except him. He felt nervous again. He held his resume tightly and whispered his answers to himself. Why do you want this job? A door opened. Daniel, they're ready for you. He stood up. His legs felt weak. He walked into a bright office. A person sat behind the desk, looking down at some papers. Please, come in. I'm the person who will interview you today. Daniel stepped forward and offered his hand for a handshake. The interviewer looked up. Daniel froze. It was her, the woman from the street. You, she said softly. Then she smiled. The young man who chased my papers in the wind. Daniel could not speak for a second. I didn't know it was you, he finally said. Sit down, please, she said kindly. I'm Nora. I lead this department. I am the boss here. Nora looked at his resume. You applied for the assistant job. So tell me, why should we hire you? Daniel took a breath. He decided to be honest, not perfect. I'm nervous, he said. Maybe I don't deserve it yet, but I really want to learn. Nora nodded slowly. This morning you helped a stranger. You didn't know who I was. You expected nothing back. That tells me more than any resume, she said. A good boss looks for a good person first. But I still have to ask hard questions, she added. We hire carefully here. An interview is not a gift. You must earn it. They talked for an hour. Daniel answered well. Slowly, his nervous hands became calm and steady. At the end, Nora stood and offered another handshake. I think you deserve a chance, Daniel. We'll hire you. Welcome to the team. Daniel walked out into the sunlight, smiling. He came to apply for a job. He left with something more, proof that kindness matters. Let's review our 8 words. This time, listen for the sentence straight from the story. Apply. To ask officially for a job. In the story, he had decided to apply for the job weeks ago. Resume. A short paper that lists your jobs, skills, and school. In the story, on his desk sat his resume, printed and clean. Interview. A meeting where a company asks you questions about a job. In the story, we hire carefully here. An interview is not a gift. Nervous, worried and a little afraid. In the story, today was the most important day of his year. He felt very nervous. Handshake. When 2 people hold hands and shake them to say hello. In the story, she shook his hand with a firm, kind handshake. Hire. To give someone a job and start paying them. In the story, I think you deserve a chance. We'll hire you. Boss. The person who leads you at work. In the story, I'm Nora. I lead this department. I am the boss here. Deserve. To earn something because of what you did. In the story, I think you deserve a chance, Daniel. Question 1. Why did Daniel stop on his way to the interview? A. He missed his bus. B. He helped a woman pick up her papers in the wind. He forgot his resume at home. D. He wanted to buy a coffee. The answer is, he helped a woman pick up her papers in the wind. The wind opened Nora's folder, and Daniel ran to catch her flying papers. Question R. Who was the interviewer behind the desk? A stranger Daniel had never met. B. Daniel's old teacher. C. The woman he had helped that morning. D. The receptionist. The answer is, the woman he had helped that morning. The interviewer was Nora, the same woman whose papers Daniel had saved in the wind. Question 3. Why did Nora decide to give Daniel a chance? A. He had the longest resume. B. He helped a stranger and was honest in the interview. He was not nervous at all. He knew Nora before that day. The answer is, he helped a stranger and was honest in the interview. Nora valued that Daniel helped her expecting nothing, and that he answered honestly. A good worker is a good person first. Time for the Fireside Challenge. Pick one word from today. Apply, resume, interview, nervous handshake, hire, boss, or deserve, and write one sentence with it in the comments. Tell me which word you will use tomorrow and why. You did wonderful work today. Remember, Daniel, be kind, be honest, and you may deserve more than you think. I'll see you in the next story.